Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today we are going to be getting into my August TBR, which like every month is extremely ambitious and I probably won't stick to it all, but you know what? At least you're gonna get a 15-minute video about the books that I'm interested in reading, so period. That's it, that's the intro. All right, let's go. First and foremost, I will be reading my Pretty Girl Book Club pick for August, which my patrons have not voted on and decided yet. The poll literally goes up tomorrow for them. So whatever they choose for me to read, I will be reading along with them. And new to my Patreon, every single tier has a monthly buddy read, and you can either choose to read with us all or not. It's kind of like an optional, just like extra thing, but we've all just become such close friends in the Discord that we wanted to read more things throughout the month together. So I will also be reading whatever monthly buddy read pick is chosen in the poll.
They have total control. My patrons have control over my life.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm being held hostage by my besties.
They do have a lot of control over my monthly TBR, so if you're interested in deciding what I read every month and participating and reading along with us, as always, my Patreon will be linked down below. You should join. It's a very fun time over there. So those are my two highest priority reads of the month, as they always are things that I'm reading with the besties. But moving on to books that I actually know that I'm gonna read this month. First of all, I am filming another new release thriller vlog. I know we did not have one in July. I don't know what happened. I was just on a horror kick and I was in a slump for like half the month. We don't need to talk about that. So I'm bringing back probably y'all's favorite video that I make, which is just reading 4 or 5 new release thrillers in a vlog. I used to do it every single month and we're bringing it back. So I have some really exciting, like some of my highest anticipated, most anticipated thrillers of 2022 are getting released in August. So I'm super excited to read them for you guys. The first one, which you can probably guess, is Girl Forgotten by Karen Slaughter. This is Karen Slaughter's newest standalone. It is a standalone thriller, but I believe it features characters from Pieces of Her. So if you haven't read Pieces of Her, you might want to do that before Girl Forgotten comes out. But I also don't think you need to have read Pieces of Her to understand Girl Forgotten. It's not a sequel or anything. It just features one of the main characters, so there might be light spoilers in there. But Girl Forgotten is a thriller set in the 80s, and we follow this girl, Emily, as she is getting ready for an 80s prom night, which just sounds like all the vibes that I need. I'm definitely gonna be playing my Stranger Things playlist as I'm reading this book for all the 80s vibes. But what Emily doesn't know as she's getting ready for prom is that she will be dead by the end of the night. And her case will sit cold in a box in the corner of her small town police station until one of the main characters from Pieces of Her comes along and acts as a private investigator to find out what happened to her. Next up in that vlog, I'll be reading The Last To Vanish by Megan Miranda. Megan Miranda is a really hit or miss author for me, but she's also an auto-buy author, so I'm definitely gonna pick this one up. And this is another thriller about girls who have vanished, and it's cold cases. So very similar to Girl Forgotten. We follow our main character, who is an investigative journalist, and she is looking into all of these disappearances of local girls that have happened over the past few years. And then she ends up getting taken, goes missing. I don't know, something happens with her where she becomes one of the girls who vanishes. So I'm not sure if we're following her perspective, other people's perspective, trying to find her. I have no idea. But Megan Miranda's plots always sound so great, but the execution is...
You know what I mean.
Also in that video, I'll be reading Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. I have been loving Alice Feeney. I don't think any of her books have been like a favorite of all time, but I've loved everything that I've read from her. So I'm hoping this is the one that breaks Alice Feeney into one of my favorite author thriller people. Daisy Darker sounds so good. I can't even describe to you the blurb. You should just go read it on Goodreads because it's like a little nursery rhyme. Like it's giving like creepy nursery rhyme music vibes. I just know there's gonna be a ton of like intergenerational trauma and fucked up family dynamics in here because it's all about the Darker family. And I believe we're following Daisy Darker, who meets up with her family on this like idyllic coast of some UK country, and the whole Darker family is there. They're all like a little bit quirky, a little bit creepy, and Daisy thinks somebody in her family is a killer. And one of them, in fact, is a killer. But is she correct about who?
Who is it? Who'd they kill? Find out in Daisy Darker.
And the last thriller I'll be reading in that vlog is The Family Remains by Lisa Jewell. Y'all know Lisa Jewell is one of my favorite authors. I just love her writing style. I get sucked into her books and I cannot put them down. There's something about the way she writes that is just entrancing and addicting to me. So I was super excited for her 22 release, obviously. And her new release is actually a follow-up to a previous novel. And I don't know that she's ever done this before since she started writing contemporary thrillers. But if you've read The Family Upstairs, then you know kind of the story. And obviously no spoilers will be given in this TBR video, but just know The Family Remains is a sequel. It is the follow-up to The Family Upstairs, which is actually my least favorite Lisa Jewell novel. So we'll see how I like this one. I'm hoping this book expands on where the last one left off, because for the majority of The Family Upstairs, I was bored. And then the last 20 pages, I was like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for the entire book. So I'm hoping I'm gonna love the sequel a lot more, and maybe it will redeem the first book for me. Also in the month of August, I will be doing an author taste test vlog. I know, I'm just like giving you guys all the content that you want, that you're constantly asking for. You're welcome. I listen, I read the comments. So the author that I'm gonna be taste testing this month is Samantha Downing. I have read her debut, My Lovely Wife, and I really liked it, but I've realized that all the other books that I have from her have just been sitting on my shelf. So I decided I will pick them up this month and see what they're all about. I also feel like August is like back to school time, so I'm trying to transition myself into little teensy tiny bit of fall reading, although I'm still gonna be laying out by the pool, so I don't want to go like full fall. Full fall, you know what I mean. The girlies get it.
If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
So the first book I'm going to be reading for that vlog is He Started It, which is a road trip thriller. So this follows two siblings who are road tripping across the country to collect their inheritance. And I don't know if they are trying to murder each other so the other one can get the whole inheritance, or if they're trying to murder somebody else who's like also competing against them to get this inheritance. I don't know the deal. All I know is that there's road trip vibes. The cover is like very deserty, and I think it would be good for the end of summer. And then I'm also going to be reading For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing, which has a bookmark in it because I had previously read the first chapter in a try a chapter vlog, and I really ended up liking this one. I think I gave it, the first chapter alone, a 10 out of 10. And I was recently talking with my patrons and they were saying that I'm gonna like this one. So obviously I trust them. And this is my easing into fall book because it's dark academia vibes. It takes place at a private school, and we are following a serial killer POV. It's kind of giving Joe Goldberg, but if he was a professor who hated his kids and just talked about his students in his head and in his journal, like, fuck them kids, fuck them kids. And then he murdered the little shits. Doesn't that sound amazing? And I feel like it's the perfect book to ease me into fall with a little teensy bit of dark academia vibes. At the end of August, you'll know what's happening. Like, my house is gonna be decorated for Halloween. I'm going to be entering spooky season. I'm going to be entering a new Draco Talk era. Like, I'm hoping this book prepares me for that. In July, this month, I actually read the first 2 books in the Stillhouse Lake series by Rachel Kane, and I swear I'm addicted. I love it so much. The characters are so lovable. It reminds me a lot of Never Let You Go by Chevy Stevens, but if you really got to dig into the characters, and it also gives slight Grant County vibes by Karen Slaughter. So I know those are like very strong comparisons, but I really am liking this series. So in the month of August, I'm gonna try to read the next 2 books in the series. I feel like I can do 2 books in a series per month before I start getting burnt out. So I believe
Wolf Hunt River? I think that's the 3rd one.
and I'm not sure what the 4th one is called, but I'm going to read those 2 books in the month of August, hopefully. Here's hoping I actually commit to a series. And I don't think these 2 books follow the same plot line that was started in the first book, Stillhouse Lake, where we're following a mother and her 2 children as they are running from the patriarch of the family who was exposed as being a serial killer, and they're in witness protection and on the run from him. I think that story starts to kind of get abandoned as the series goes on, and instead our main single mother badass character starts to get involved with other like organized crime things, investigative things, and she's just like out here being a badass, punching men and taking names. All right, so all the rest of the books in this TBR video are just gonna be vibes, okay? These are just the books that I kind of want to read, and that's all. Like, I have no other reason for featuring them in this video other than I've been wanting to read them, okay? I've been looking at them on my shelf and thinking,
I'd like to read you.
The first one is Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig. By the way, I just love this book. First of all, it's adorbs and it's like shiny and it's just tiny. She's so small. Like, here's a regular size book, like a regular size hardback. And here is this book. Like, it's so teensy teensy. Also, foreshadowing for what's to come. But I have just really been wanting to get back into Matt Haig. I realized everything that I've read from him has been a 5-star. I don't know. I just really like him. I like his writing style, and I need some reasons to stay alive right now. Y'all probably know this from watching my Summerween vlogs. I have been down bad. Like, your girl has been a little depressed because my life is in a little bit of chaos. So I'm hoping Reasons to Stay Alive can give me some reasons to stay alive. I also just like the wisdom and the commentary and the mental health rep in Matt Haig books. So this could be the reason I stay alive, or it could be my 13th reason. Like, who knows? Next up, I'll just talk about the book that you got a little sneaky peeky of, and that is A History of Wild Places by Shay Earnshaw. And I've heard a lot of buzz about this more at the beginning of the year, but I feel like it's having a little resurgence moment right now in the book community. And I heard that this was a mystery, but I don't think it is. I think it was like sold as that, and maybe it's not. But it definitely has strong magical realism vibes, and y'all know I love just like a slight tinge of magic on a really realistic story. So we're following an investigator who, what's his power? He like has a power. He has an unusual talent for locating missing people. So he's hired by families, and he only requires a single object to find the person who has vanished. So that's the mystery storyline, is that it's about like people who have gone missing and him locating them. And I don't know, the buzz about this book is just getting to me. Y'all know I don't like a male POV, but something about this book just sounds like it's gonna be so perfect for me. Thrillers and magical realism are like the 2 ingredients to get me to love a book. So I'm hoping I'm gonna like this one as much as my brain is hyping it up for me to like it. Next up, we have Notes on an Execution by Danya
Kukofka. Kukofka? Yes.
And I heard about this book from Gabby, and she loved it. And you know, I'm a simp for Gabby. I will literally pick up anything she recommends. So of course I ordered it immediately on Pango as soon as she talked about it. And I love the cover. She's just beautiful. It also has deckled edges. I love it. And this book is supposed to be really, really character driven. So just keep that in mind. Y'all know I love super character driven novels. So I'm hoping that I like this one, but if it's not for you, girl, this is not for you. And I believe that we're following basically the life of this guy on death row. He was like a serial killer, the most horrible man to ever live. And we're hearing about his life from the perspective of different women that have been in his life and like how they've connected with him. And maybe we're gonna get empathy for a serial killer, which like I really cannot imagine. Number one, feeling empathy for any like shitty man, but definitely feeling empathy for a serial killer. Like, I feel like the only book to ever do that was You by Caroline Kepnes, and there's no way that another book can do that for me, but because Gabby was raping, I said, okay, I'll trust you. I'll give her a shot. Next, we have a book that I had on my July TBR, but then the slump of it all.
Thank you for the jingling, Boba.
But then the slump of the fucking century hit me. So I did not end up reading it, but I really do want to prioritize it because number one, it's been getting such good reviews. And number two, I just love Tessa Bailey. So that is My Killer Vacation. And this is apparently the perfect balance of a spicy romance and a cozy mystery. We're following these two main characters. One of them is just like a little curious, quirky girl on vacation, and the other one is a bounty hunter. And our main female character finds a body on the beach, so the bounty hunter comes to like handle the situation for this like poor little tourist girl. And she's like,
Wait. I'm not just gonna let you leave and like handle it like a man. Like, no, that's not how we do things around here. I am inquisitive and I will solve the case.
And while they're solving the case of this dead body, they fall in love and have many encounters. Next up, I have a couple Patreon requests. Every time I put up a haul video, I post a huge list on Patreon of all the books that I featured in the haul, and I ask for my patrons' opinions on what books I should prioritize. So these are two books that all the patron girlies wanted to hear about and get my thoughts on. So hopefully I can get to them in the month of August and give them the tea in the wrap up. The first one, I'll probably try to read towards the beginning of the month because it's still like very, very summer vibes. And that is obviously, you can see her right here, the Vagina book, the Vagina Thriller. We love to see her. Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. And this is allegedly an Agatha Christie retelling. We all know it's not gonna be though. We all know that's a lie. It's a complete lie. It's a tall tale. This is basically about a bunch of people who get stuck on an island together, and people are getting picked off one by one by one. We have to figure out who the killer is. It's tropical, it's murder vibes, it's dumb people dying. Sounds like it's gonna be a fun time, not too deep. And lastly, I have the Mary Shelley Club by Goldie Moldavsky.
Moldavsky.
And this is also going to be like an easing me into fall book because it's also dark academia. So we're following this like elite private school, and basically there's a club in this school that's like a secret society, and to join you have to do these fear tests. So what they call is fear tests, where you have to like face your fear. And that to me is giving that scene in the Divergent series where they have to like face their fear and like fight, and I loved that scene. So I'm hoping the fear tests are gonna be kind of like that, but without the like magicalness of it all. And so our main character is new to the school. She's on a scholarship. She doesn't fit in. She wants to get in with these little rich kids in the private school. So she's like,
hey, Mary Shelley Club, Secret Society, let me in. I'm gonna pass your fear test.
But as the fear tests escalate and get more and more challenging, they turn deadly. And I just think that sounds so interesting. This book is kind of a chunk. Like, it is over 400 pages, so that's a lot for me. That's just like really a lot for me. I'm a little scared of that. But I think it's gonna be the perfect little transition from summer to fall, because it's very like, you know, slasher summer vibes, but it's also dark academia fall. If y'all can't tell, I'm the biggest seasonal reader of all time, so that is my goal, to try to like ease myself in the month of August from summer reads into fall reads. So hopefully she does it for me. All right, guys, that is gonna be all for my August TBR video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And if you wanna read anything along with me this month, let me know down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to read a book and go to therapy this week. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.